Understanding the connections, glacier retreat and weather patterns. Understanding the connections, glacier retreat and weather patterns. Introduction. Glaciers, magnificent natural wonders composed of compacted snow and ice, have been an integral part of the Earth's landscape for millions of years. However, in recent decades, there has been a concerning trend of glacier retreat occurring worldwide. Scientists have observed that glacier retreat is closely interconnected with changes in weather patterns, leading to significant implications for the environment, ecology, and human societies. In this article, we will explore the connections between glacier retreat and weather patterns, highlighting the causes, impacts, and potential implications of this phenomenon. Causes of glacier retreat. Glacier retreat is primarily a consequence of global warming, resulting from the increase of greenhouse gas emissions in the Earth's atmosphere. These emissions are largely attributed to human activity, such as the burning of fossil fuels, industrial processes, and deforestation. As these gases trap heat from the sun, the temperature of the Earth's surface rises, gradually melting glaciers and causing them to retreat. The importance of weather patterns. Weather patterns play a critical role in the dynamics of glacier retreat. Climate systems influence the amount of precipitation received by glaciers, the rate of ice melt, and the overall balance of accumulation and ablation. Changes in weather patterns can therefore have a profound impact on the stability and health of glaciers. The role of albedo feedback. One significant interaction between glaciers and weather patterns is through the albedo feedback mechanism. The albedo refers to the reflectivity of a surface. Glacial ice has a high albedo, meaning that it reflects a significant portion of incoming solar radiation back into space. As more ice melts and retreats, however, the darker underlying ground or water is exposed. These surfaces have a low bare albedo and absorb more solar radiation, leading to increased heating and further melting of the glaciers. This positive feedback loop accelerates the rate of glacier retreat. Impacts on the hydrological cycle. Glacier retreat also has far-reaching consequences for the hydrological cycle. Glaciers act as natural reservoirs, storing water in the form of ice. As glaciers melt and shrink, this stored water is released into downstream ecosystems and contributes to freshwater availability. Moreover, reduced glacial melt can lead to decreased river flows during drier seasons, which can further exacerbate scarcity issues. Weather pattern changes. One notable impact of glacier retreat on weather patterns is the alteration of local and regional climate systems. Glaciers have a cooling effect on nearby areas, as the melting process absorbs heat from the environment. As glaciers retreat, this cooling effect diminishes, resulting in warmer local temperatures. Increased extreme weather events. Glacier retreat is linked to an increase in extreme weather events, such as heavy rainfall, floods, and avalanches. As glaciers melt, they release large quantities of water into the surrounding environment, leading to an elevated risk of flash floods and landslides. Additionally, the loss of glacial ice reduces the stability of slopes and mountains, increasing the likelihood of avalanches. These extreme weather events pose significant threats to human settlements, infrastructure, and ecosystems in mountainous regions. Implications for ecosystems. Glacier retreat has profound implications for ecosystems that depend on glacial melt for their survival. Many plants and animals have adapted to the unique conditions created by glaciers, including sea, old water habitats, and nutrient-rich streams formed by melting ice. As glaciers shrink, these habitats are threatened, potentially leading to the loss of specialized species and the disruption of complex ecological relationships. Furthermore, changes in water availability and temperature can impact downstream ecosystems, affecting fish populations, migratory patterns, and the overall biodiversity. Why of these regions? Socioeconomic consequences. The interplay between glacier retreat and weather patterns also has significant socioeconomic consequences. Communities that depend on glacial melt for their water resources and agricultural activity face challenges as glaciers shrink. Reduced water availability and changes in precipitation patterns can lead to water scarcity and crop failures, resulting in food insecurity and economic hardship. Additionally, the loss of glacial tourism and recreational opportunities can negatively impact local economies that rely on these activities. Mitigation and adaptation strategies. To mitigate the impacts of glacier retreat and weather pattern changes, urgent action is required. Reduction in greenhouse gas emissions is crucial to slow down the pace of global warming and subsequent glacier retreat. Transitioning to renewable energy sources, increasing energy efficiency, and implementing sustainable land use practices can all contribute to this effort. Adaptation strategies should also be considered to cope with the already occurring glacier retreat. These may include improved water management practices, the implementation of alternative sources of freshwater, and the development of climate-resilient agriculture. Moreover, raising awareness and promoting sustainable practices among local communities and governments can foster greater resilience. In the face of these changes, the repercussions of glacier retreat and the interconnectedness with weather patterns are profound and wide-ranging. Over the past few decades, there has been a notable trend of glacier retreat occur. Worldwide, and scientists have discovered that this retreat is tightly linked to changes in weather patterns. This phenomenon carries significant implications for the environment, ecology, and human societies. In this article, we will delve into the connections between glacier retreat and weather patterns, highlighting the causes, impacts, and potential consequences of this occurrence. Understanding the causes of glacier retreat. Glacier retreat is primarily caused by global warming, which, in turn, stems from the increase of greenhouse gas emissions in the Earth's atmosphere. Human activities, such as burning fossil fuels, industrial processes, and deforestation, are predominantly responsible for these emissions. As greenhouse gases trap heat from the sun, the Earth's surface temperature rises, leading to the gradual melting and retreat of glaciers. The importance of weather patterns in glacier retreat. Weather patterns play a critical role in the dynamics of glacier retreat. The climate systems directly influence the amount of precipitation received by glaciers, the rate at which ice melts, and the overall balance between accumulation and ablation. Changes in weather patterns can therefore have a significant impact on the stability and health of glaciers. The role of albedo feedback in glacier retreat. One significant interaction between glaciers and weather patterns occurs through the albedo feedback mechanism. Albedo refers to the reflectivity of a surface. Glacial ice possesses a high albedo, meaning it reflects a substantial portion of incoming solar radiation back into space. However, as more ice melts and retreats, the darker ground or water beneath becomes exposed. These surfaces have a Lower albedo, absorbing more solar radiation and consequently intensifying the heating and further melting of the glaciers. This positive feedback loop accelerates the rate of glacier retreat. Impacts on the hydrological cycle. Glacier retreat also has significant consequences for the hydrological cycle. Glaciers act as natural reservoirs, storing water in the form of ice. As glaciers melt and shrink, the stored water is